And if you're going to testify this morning, please raise your right hand.
David, right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
You do, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And if you'll all mute yourself, except for those that are going to, when I call on you, cause number 90, the interest of Canon Eastwood Robbins. Ms. Poland, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Christina Robbins in my office with me, although the camera's not turning the way it should, but she's here with me. And then we have Scott, who's attending virtually, and you can see he's also here.
Okay, you may proceed, Counselor.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Christina, will you please state your full name for the court?
Christina K. Robbins.
Okay, let me try to get the camera. Yeah, can you maybe just really turn on? Here you go. Here you go. Okay, say something, Christina. Let me see if if it'll pick you up.
Christina K. Robbins.
Okay. Maybe my buzzer. I'm sorry, Your Honor. She was on, and now my fancy camera is not doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, Christina. Thank you. Well, is it true that you are the biological parent of Canon Eastwood Robbins?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is Canon?
18.
18. That's very good. And is it true that Canon has a disability and needs a guardianship?
Yes, ma'am.
And is a guardianship of the person, do you believe that's in Canon's best interest? What's the nature of Canon's disability?
Canon has Down syndrome.
Okay, very good. And you and I have explored other alternatives to guardianship, and we believe that there are no supports or services that are a good alternative for Canon. Is that correct? Okay. And is it true that you're qualified to serve as co-guardian for Canon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions for Christina Robbins. That's the witness.
Nelson. Good morning.
Sir, I think we may be in the wrong one.
Okay, so what are you here for?
Wendy Rooks?
Probate?
Yes.
No, she's on here. We'll get to her.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right.
This
All
seems
right,
to be
Ms.
in
Nelson.
somebody else's business.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
It's open court for all these cases.
Oh,
that are
okay.
on the
I got
docket
you.
today. All right, Ms. Nelson.
Good morning. Am I muted or not? No, I'm not.
You're
morning.
good.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. You're passing the witness. Good morning, Christina. Christina, you and your husband both have applied as co-guardians. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Present here today?
Yes, ma'am. He's on Scott's iPhone.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering. There's too much going on, I think, on the screen. It's got me kind of discombobulated this morning. Christina, you have again made an application with your husband. You recall. Good morning. You recall that I did make a visit to your home and I met with Kanan. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have obviously been taking care of your son since his birth.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course, his incapacity renders, at this point, there's no chance or reasonable chance, I guess, would be that he would in some way recover sometime in the future. Is that correct?
No, he will not recover.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Counselor Kelly, next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Scott, will you please state your full name for the court?
Scott Eric Robbins.
Thank you, Scott. And is it true that you and your wife, Christina, have applied to be co-guardians of the person of your son, Canon Eastwood Robbins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. And do you believe it's in Canon's best interest that the two of you be appointed as co-guardians of his person?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Very good. And Scott, are you qualified to serve as co-guardian with your wife as co-guardian of Cannon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Your Honor, I pass the witness.
Nelson.
Your Honor, I have no questions.
Right. Call your next witness, counselor.
Your Honor, I have no other witnesses planned today.
Right. Ms. Nelson.
Judge, I have no witnesses otherwise. I have filed an application to pay my fees and asked the court to consider that. I don't think there's any dispute from the applicants on that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna approve the payment of the $600 for the fees. What about a bond amount?
Obviously, anything that's minimum, Your Honor, this is just the guardianship of the person only.
And you agree to that, Ms. Pullman?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna approve, excuse me. Holland. The order appointing guardian of the person of Cannon Estate Robbins and set a $20 bond. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
You may be.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, cause number 111, the state of Wendy Renee Rooks. Mr. Collins,
Yes, Your Honor.
morning. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. My first witness is Lori Simpson. You there, Lori?
Yes,
Could you state your name for the record?
Lori Patrice Simpson.
And your sister was Wendy R. Rooks, is that correct?
Yes,
She passed away on November 16th of 2024,
correct.
and she had her fixed place of residence in Chambers County on the day she passed away.
Yes,
And at the time she passed away, she didn't have a valid written will.
no, she did not.
And you filed an application to determine heirship in this case, is that correct?
Yes,
And Wendy had been married twice, but at the time she passed away, she wasn't married at that point. And she never had any children from either of those two marriages. Is she muted? I'm not hearing her.
yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Mr. McCall, you repeat the question for her?
Okay. Lori, Wendy never had any children from any of her prior marriages.
Right. No,
She never adopted any children.
no, no.
And both of y'all's parents are deceased, correct? And the only living relative she had was her three sisters, you, Sandy Alston, and Jana Woodard. Is that correct? And you're asking the court to approve your application to determine heirship and show that yourself, your sister Sandy Alston, and Jana Woodard are the only three heirs to her estate. Is that correct? That's all the questions I have of this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Foss, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Simpson. Do you have any personal knowledge of whether a search was conducted of Ms. Rooks's belongings after her death to find a will?
Sorry, I can barely hear you.
Do you have any personal knowledge of whether a search was conducted of Ms. Rooks's belongings after her death to look for a will?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did you have any conversations with her about writing a will?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you ever have any conversations with her whether she said, I do have a will or I don't have a will, one way or the other?
No, ma'am.
Okay. That's all, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
All right, call your next witness, Counselor.
Craig Scrivener and Patty Ward. Stay there.
Is that the guy with the fancy hat on?
Yeah, it's praise.
All right, he's muted.
Says I'm unmuted.
All right, we got you now.
Patty, can you hear me?
Muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you state your name for the record?
Craig Scribner.
Are you on a cruise or something?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, you're rubbing it in.
Are
I bought the $6 hat.
you familiar with the marital and family history of Wendy Rooks?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
And she was married twice, but at the time she passed away, she was not married at that point.
That's correct.
And she never had any children from either of those marriages.
No, she did not.
She never adopted any children.
No, she did not.
And both her parents had predeceased her, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the only living relatives she had were her three sisters, Lori Simpson, Sandy Alston, and Jana Woodard. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I've sent you an affidavit identifying Miss Rooks as heirs. If you had an opportunity to review that,
Yes, I have, sir.
and all that information is true and correct,
Yes, it is.
that's all that questions I have of this witness, Your Honor.
Of course.
Hello, sir. You and I have previously spoken. Have you uncovered any information regarding Ms. Rooks's family and marital history that would be new information since we spoke?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Okay. One thing we didn't discuss was whether you had ever had any conversations with her about whether she had a will. Did you ever have any conversations like that?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor. We're done with you, sir, if you want to go back to partying on a boat.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. McCall.
Thank you
call your
very
next
much.
witness.
Yes, sir.
Patty Ward.
Patty, you're muted.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
Can we pay the $3.4 million, whatever they're asking for, right? What we are wondering is, and that's the
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on just a minute.
is we have $1.4 million.
Yeah, good job.
Let's try to agree on what Cisco is asking us. Let's go.
I think that Craig,
Much like what you're saying. That
Can you hear us, Patty?
can y'all call Craig and tell him to hang up?
Texting right now.
Thank you.
The $600,000 or $500,000, and we'll apply that towards this, along with the remainder of the funds that were approved. Again, this is a commitment, and what they're asking is we don't have to pay everything upfront annually. We pay it up.
Can you hear us, Patty?
Can you see me?
So I'm
We can see you. We got interference.
It doesn't have
Okay.
hurdles in it. So in the access program, I am not aligned to that. I don't mind paying for access as long as it's tied to.
Yeah, it sounded like a timeshare
So
on the boat.
it has to meet our hurdles. So if however they want to spend that $2 million, or however they break it up into their program, that's fine. But they won't get paid unless.
Craig, can you hear me?
That's a hard line.
Craig,
Yeah.
I've muted
would you hang up, please?
So we, and Patty's had more conversations with Cisco. So Patty, I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail the conversation, and
This is the first.
it'll be helpful next time. So I'll be ready to have a detailed conversation. But from my perspective, we
I
have
know.
a union in place to pay for performance and outlet growth. That is what I'm expecting them to deliver. However they want to shape that up, my view is they will get.
Is he with somebody else you can text there and ask him to hang up?
Actual outcome goals, because I can't pay them.
Is that on Patty's?
for-
I don't see Craig. He's been
I don't
gone.
either.
It's coming
Patty,
out
is that audio coming from from you, Patty?
I don't know. I'm
Oh,
gonna hang
maybe
up.
it is.
I'll hang up and call back.
Oh, that's okay. I I think it's gone. All right, Patty, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, let's try to proceed, Mr. Call.
Patty, were you able to hear the questions I asked Mr. Scrivener earlier?
Yes,
Okay, and you agree with all the
I do.
answers that he gave in his prior testimony?
I do. I agree with all of that.
Okay, she didn't have any children, never adopted any children.
Correct.
Her only heirs were her three sisters, that we
Yeah,
have.
and both their parents are dead.
Okay. And you've had an opportunity to review that affidavit and all that information is true and correct?
Repeat that one more time.
The affidavit identifying Wendy Rooks as heirs. You've had an
Yes.
opportunity to review that. That information is true and correct?
I have reviewed it, and I thought after this call, sign it and send it to you.
Okay. And all that information is true and correct, though?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Walsh.
I'm Miss Patty.
Hi.
Did you happen to have any conversations with Ms. Rooks about whether she had a will?
I did not.
Okay. I have no questions other than that, Your Honor.
Okay.
You agree, Ms. Walsh, you agree to the judgment declaring heirship?
I do, Your Honor.
And I'm going to prove that. Patty, you can get off. I think we're done with
Okay.
you. Counselor, you don't need her anymore.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Come
Judge,
prove the judgment declaring, ma'am.
The only question I would have is on my fees. I have not heard whether we have an agreement or not on that.
Tell you no.
Oh, man, I don't think.
Yes.
We can't.
Yeah, I've told her to sign the check and send it to you.
Okay, so I guess we have.
Okay.
We can stick with the program that we have. Where it's
Yeah, I'm going to prove the attorney in line of fees.
commitment to us that they may or not.
Call, you have evidence on the administration?
Yes, Your Honor.
May proceed.
Okay, Laura, you still there?
Yes.
You and your sister Sandy Alston have filed an application. Y'all filed an application for independent administration, is that correct?
Sandy, you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear us?
We can.
Okay.
Laura, you and your sister Sandy Alston have filed an application to be appointed as independent administrators of the estate?
Yes, sir.
And your sister Jana, we sent her a waiver. We haven't gotten that back yet, but as soon as we get that back, we'll file that with the court. But you're asking that the court approve you and your sister Sandy as independent administrators of the estate?
Yes, sir.
And neither one of y'all are disqualified from serving. Y'all not felons or anything like that?
No, sir.
And there's a necessity to have an administration of her estate because she owned real property in Chambers County and there's other assets that need to be administered under the estate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're asking the judge approve that?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Everybody approve granting the independent administration authorized letter. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we want to talk about this program for next year, that's something else.
I don't have a clue where that's coming from.
Critical.
Patty, you can hang up. We're done with you.
Budget has been.
Are y'all finished with us?
Yes, ma'am. You're free to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Cause number 9, the state of Leo Harris Sound. Mr. Dowden,
Yes, Judge, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You can make
Judge,
a
Well, Judge, just to let the court know that my client is here to testify, and I have a witness as to the execution of the will. Both are recently back from cruises, but neither wore their hats. So with your permission, I'm going to go forward anyway.
No, if they don't have their hats on, they can't see.
Okay. All right. So
go ahead.
First, I'll call Mr. David Sion, Your Honor. You are David Sion, is that correct?
That's right.
And Mr. Sion, you're here today to ask Judge Sylvia to admit to probate the last will and testament.
Yes, I am.
Of your late dad, Leo Harris Sion. Is that true?
True.
Okay. We filed an application to probate a copy of the will because the original of the will has been lost or misplaced with the passage of time. Is that right?
True.
And I understand that you and your siblings have searched high and low to try to locate that original last will and testament. We made contact with his attorney's office, Mr. Tom Hanna, whose wife is here today, and we've just not been able to locate an original. And so you and your siblings are asking the court to allow you to go forward with a true and correct copy of the original last will and testament of Dad. Is that true? True. And I understand that Dad passed away on or about September 22nd, 2024 in Chambers County, Texas. Is that true?
True.
Dad was 95 years old, and of course, 4 years have not elapsed since he passed. Is that right?
Yes.
We believe we're in the proper court as far as jurisdiction and venue because Dad lived in Chambers County when he passed. Is that true?
True.
Okay. And he did have a valid will dated February 28, 2014. Is that true?
True.
And we filed a copy of that will with Judge Sylvia's office with the clerk of the court. Is that right?
Right.
We believe we've complied with the requirements of the state's code and the code of civil procedure in that with the passage of time since the filing, that we're proper to go forward this morning with our hearing. Is that right? There's a necessity for administration of the estate. You need to be appointed to gather assets and carry out the terms of the will. Is that right? The will was self-proved, had two disinterested witnesses. Ms. Hannah is here. She was the notary public on the will, and none of those individuals have any interest in the estate. Is that true? Dad never revoked the will or modified it, never executed a codicil or anything like that. Is that true?
True.
The will doesn't name the YMCA or the First Baptist Church of Anahuac or any charitable organization or governmental agency as a beneficiary. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay. And Dad did not adopt any children or take any children into his home for the purpose of adoption after the date of the will. Is that true?
True.
Dad had mom predeceased Dad, and there was no marriage of Dad's that was dissolved after the date of the will. Is that true? And the will names you to act independently. Is that true?
True.
You have no felony conviction. There's no reason why you should not be appointed executor, administrator of the estate. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, my next question. We have an oath for you to sign to file with the court, and we assure the court, you and I, that we will, if you're appointed to serve as executor of the estate, we will follow all the terms of the estate's code. We'll get an inventory filed within 90 days and make sure we follow the rules. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Judge, that's all the questions I have of Mr. Sion, unless you would like me to ask anything in addition to those questions.
I think we covered. So you can call your next witness.
Yes, sir. Okay, Judge, I'd call Ms. Elizabeth Hanna. Ma'am, you are Elizabeth Liz Hanna. Is that true?
Yes.
And Ms. Hanna, you are the widow of Tom Hanna, who practiced law in Nederland, former district attorney for Jefferson County. And you worked in his office and were married to him for many, many, many years. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And is it true that you were a witness on the date of the execution of the will by Mr. Sion?
Yes, sir.
And is it true that you served as the notary public when the will was signed?
Yes, sir.
And that the will was signed by Mr. Sion in front of yourself, Ms. Rebecca Ottoman, a witness, I'm probably mispronouncing that word, and Ms. Paula Talent, who worked in your husband's office. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you have no relationship with the Sion family, no interest in the estate. Is that true?
Right.
And Mr. Sion signed the will of his own accord, and he was competent when he executed the will. Is that your recollection?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Judge, that's all I have unless you need any additional testimony from Ms. Hanna.
Sir, I hereby admit the will of probate and authorized letters. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge, so much. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Call number 12, the state of Leonard Baca. Ms. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. You may proceed. Morning.
Thank you. Would you please state your full name for the record?
Stephen Ray Bachman.
And you are Mr. Baca's son, is that correct?
Yes.
And he died on December 13th of 2024 in Chambers County?
Yes.
And his residence was in Chambers County when he passed away, is that correct?
Yes.
To your knowledge, did he die without revoking his will that was dated February 1st, 2024?
I'm sorry, do I?
Did he die without revoking his will?
Yes,
And the will was dated February 1st, 2024?
yes, that's correct.
Was there any child or children born after he signed that will?
No,
Did he adopt any children after he did that?
no,
To your knowledge, at the time of the execution of the will, was he of sound mind and of at least 18 years of age?
yes,
Did he have any marriage dissolve after the will was made?
no,
And 4 years have not elapsed since we filed the application to probate the will and his death. Is that correct?
correct.
Was the state of Texas or any charity a devisee under this will?
No,
He left everything to you and your brothers. Is that correct?
that's correct.
And a necessity exists for the administration of the estate.
Yes,
And the will appointed you as independent executor. Is that correct?
yes,
And you are not a felon and you are not disqualified for any reason from performing those duties.
No.
Is that correct?
that's correct.
I pass the witness, Judge.
No questions, Counselor. Right, everybody admits the will to probate and authorized letters.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Sure. Have a good
Will you
day.
be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, cause number 17, the state of Rose Ann Hill. Mr. Dawson, good morning. You're muted, Dick. Mr. Dawson. You're muted.
Okay, there you go, Judge.
That's much
Good morning
better. You
to
may proceed.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Judge, I had Floyd Allen Hill. Is that your name, sir?
Yes,
And how are you related to Roseanne Hill?
her husband.
And she died on January 3rd, 2025. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you and Roseanne Hill were married in 1966?
Correct.
And you and her were a resident of Chambers County, Texas, correct?
That is right. Yes.
And back to the matter, you lived off Guhall Road, is that right?
Correct.
And the document dated July 21st, 2000 is her last will and testament, is that right?
Yes.
And you gave me the original will and it has been filed in Adawac, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, I ask the court take judicial notice of the will on file.
Yes, sir. Done.
And is this a necessity exists for the administration of the estate, is that correct, sir?
Yes.
And there is no children born or adopted after the date of the will, is that right?
All right.
And there's no gift to charitable organizations or any governmental entity, is that correct?
Correct.
It's a non-taxable estate,
Yes.
and you're asking that any requirement of a appraisal be waived, is that right?
Right.
And she never applied for Medicaid benefits, correct?
No, sir, not Medicaid.
Okay, fine. And she named you as to serve as independent executor. As far as you know, you're qualified to serve and not disqualified. Is that right?
Correct.
You don't have any kind of criminal conviction and you've never been declared mentally incapacitated. Is that right?
Right.
Judge, that's all I'd have. I'd ask that the court admit the will of Roseanne Hill and that Floyd Allen Hill be named independent executor to serve without bond. Thank you, Judge.
Done. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
You as well. You as well.
All right, cause number 19, state Nathan Gill Smith. Mr. McCall.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your name is Audrey E. Smith.
Yes.
Oh, we need to swear you in. If you'll raise your right hand, please.
Go ahead.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can put your hand down. You may proceed now, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Your name is Audrey E. Smith.
Yes.
And your uncle was Nathan Gill Smith.
Yes.
He passed away on August the 30th of 2024.
Yes.
And he had his fixed place of residence in Chambers County on the day he passed away.
Yes.
And you filed the original of his last will and testament with the court.
Yes.
And you recognize this to be a copy of what we filed.
Yes.
And you recognize this to be his signature.
Yes.
And so far as you know, he never revoked this will.
As far as I know. Yes.
Okay. He didn't leave anything to any governmental entity or charity or anything.
No, sir.
He didn't have any children born to or adopted to him after the date of the will.
No, sir.
He never got divorced after the date of the will.
No, sir.
The will named you to act as an independent executor,
Yes, sir.
and you're not disqualified in any way from serving. You're not a felon or anything like that.
I'm not, sir.
And you're asking that the court approve your application and admit your uncle's will to probate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor.
Probate, and authorized letter. Thank you, Counselor. Have a good day.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, cause number 21, the state of Marcia K. Dowdle. Don't see Mr. Burrows. All right, we'll move on to cause number 22, state of Buddy Boy Brown. Mr. Jackson, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
You may proceed.
All right. I have with me Mr. Alan Gilson. Please state your full name.
Alan Dana Gleason.
And you're here for the estate of Buddy Boy Brown.
That is correct.
And how are you related to him?
That's my uncle.
And your uncle died on December 14th, 2024. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Died in Chambers County, Texas. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
He has fixed place of residence in Chambers County. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that he died with a will dated September 13th, 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And he did not revoke that will. Is that correct?
That is correct.
He did not revoke that will either.
That is correct.
And you were named as the executor of the will. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to serve as such?
Yes, sir.
And there's no reason you'd be disqualified to act as such. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And there's a necessity for administration of the state. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And no state, governmental agency, or charitable organization has been named as a advisee in this estate. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's not a taxable estate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You're asking court to waive appraisals and appoint you executor. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's all the questions we have, Your Honor.
All right, everybody admits will to probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day. With that, we are adjourned.